Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another true crime video. If you are new here, welcome and thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If you do enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. A Florida lawyer and father of two was shot to death in his driveway in the midst of a nasty divorce and custody battle. 41-year-old Dan Markel was born in Montreal, Canada, and worked as a law professor at Florida State University. He had two sons with his ex-wife Wendy Adelson, who wanted to take the boys and move to Miami to be closer to her family. However, there was just one problem preventing Wendy from doing so: Dan Markel. He wasn't just going to let her take his children from him, he wanted to be involved in their lives. This angered Wendy and her mother, Donna Adelson. Now, Donna would often complain about Dan Markel to her son, 45-year-old Charlie Adelson. In her eyes, Dan was a big problem and she wanted to get rid of that problem. On July the 18th, 2014, Dan Markel was heading home from the gym around 11 a.m. and little did he know he was being followed by two complete strangers. As he pulled into the driveway of his home, he was shot in the head twice in his car. A neighbor who heard the gunshot looked outside and saw a silver Toyota Prius fleeing Dan Markel's driveway. The neighbor waited a few minutes, and when they did not see Dan, they decided to go over and check on him. When they got to the driveway, they noticed the driver's side window of Dan's car was shattered. Dan had been bleeding from his head and moaning in pain. The neighbor called 911 and Dan was rushed to the hospital where he died 14 hours later. It wouldn't be until almost 2 years later when a suspect was finally arrested in relation to Dan's murder. On May the 26th of 2016, police announced the arrest of 34-year-old Sigfrido Garcia and charged him with first-degree murder. They stated that the case was being investigated as a murder for hire. Investigators believe Dan's murder was a contract hit, but who would have hated him enough to want him dead? Well, Wendy Adelson had moved to Miami just 48 hours after Dan's death. Remember, she was not permitted to do so by the custody agreement unless something were to happen to Dan. Well, look how that turned out. Sigfrido Garcia and 33-year-old Luis Rivera had traveled all the way from Miami to Florida to stay at a hotel and monitor Dan Markel's every move. But how are these two men linked to the Adelson family? Charlie Adelson's girlfriend, Catherine McBanois. Catherine, who goes by Katie, is the mother of two of Garcia's children. Luis Rivera, who was already in jail on separate charges, was indicted on first-degree murder. Katie was arrested in October of 2016 and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder. Rivera pled guilty and was sentenced to 19 years in exchange for his testimony. In October of 2019, Katie and Garcia were tried together. According to the suspects, they were offered $100,000 to kill Dan Markel. Now, the Adelsons owned a family dental clinic where Donna would work inside the office and her husband and son Charlie worked as dentists. During the investigation, it had been discovered that Katie had been on the payroll at the dental clinic even though she had never worked there for up to 2 years after Dan's murder. Both Katie and Garcia were found guilty and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. In April of 2022, Charlie Adelson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder. He was found guilty on November the 6th of 2023 and is currently awaiting sentencing. Just a few days after that, on November the 13th, Donna Adelson was arrested at Miami Airport and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder. It is believed she was trying to flee as she had a one-way ticket to Vietnam. There were also leaked jail calls between her and Charlie of her saying that she was going to flee or unalive herself. What are you running from there, Donna? After Donna's arrest, this now begs the question, will Wendy Adelson be charged? After all, she was the ex-wife of Dan Markel and had been wrapped up in a bitter custody battle, which I fully believe was the reason behind his murder. You can't tell me she didn't know anything about it. Just completely sick and selfish, all because she wanted to move closer to Miami and take those boys away from him. What a scary and evil family. But as always, I want to hear everything you guys have to say down in the comments below. What do you guys think of this case? Do you think that Wendy will be charged? You know, I always love to hear everything you guys have to say. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video today. Again, if you are new and you do enjoy this type of content, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss videos just like this one. I really hope that you guys take care of yourselves, and we'll see you guys in my next video.